Uma história que começa com um desafio familiar e se torna referência internacional no cuidado a pessoas com deficiência. Kalman Samuels, fundador da organização israelense Shalva, esteve no Brasil e falou com exclusividade ao Shalom Brasil. Na entrevista, ele relembra os acontecimentos que marcaram sua trajetória pessoal e levaram à criação de um dos maiores centros de apoio a pessoas com deficiência no Oriente Médio. Veja agora os principais trechos dessa conversa.
Shalva's mission is, as its name means in Hebrew, peace of mind or serenity. And the mission is to help and empower not just a child with a disability, but his entire family, his parents, his siblings, with peace of mind. And how we do that is providing programs around the clock for the entire cycle of life, for mothers with newborn babies with a disability. And the programs extend from that to daycare, to preschools, to after-school programming, to overnight respite, to vocational training, to apartments in the community where 6 young men over 21 years of age or 6 young women live, and where they will live there for the full cycle of life. Shalva was founded by my wife Malki and myself as a result of our own experience with our son, who was injured at the age of 11 months by a faulty vaccination in Israel in 1977. And we learned the hard way what it means to care suddenly for a child, and we learned what it means when your dreams go out the window. Many people suggested to my wife to institutionalize Yossi, get him out of the family, and she refused and promised God that if he ever decided to help our son, she would dedicate her life to helping other mothers with their children with disabilities. We began with a very small program with 5 children in 1990, and over the years it has grown into being one of the largest in the world, with an enormous 22,000 square meter center in the heart of Jerusalem, with over 1,000 clients coming every day through our center. And the founders, myself and my wife, are intricately involved. We now have 700 employees. We have 400 volunteers, a $30 million budget. So we have lots of help. Shalva's mission was always based on private participation. For the first 14 years of Shalva, we never had any government funding. And that's because we did things always a little bit differently, programs that became leading programs, but we did it because the programs that existed didn't fill the needs the way we thought they should. When government funding came on board in Israel, today, for example, it's about 50% of our total budget. So we're forced to raise about $10 million a year, and that's just for operations. If we want to build a new center of any kind, that again is funding. We have 150,000 visitors to the center every year from all over the world, including ambassadors from foreign countries, and we are there to share what we do and help centers elsewhere, whether it be in the Jewish community or sometimes governments of non-Jewish communities in different countries, and we're there to be of assistance. And I'm currently in Brazil as an invitation from the Shemesh Institute, the Shemesh Center, which is a new center in the Jewish community for people with disabilities. And Shalva was deeply involved in the planning and facilities of this marvelous center. So the organization is creating an entire new generation, not only for people with disabilities, but for our volunteers. And we have hundreds of young people who volunteer. And these people come in and become different adults with a different view of life and a different view of acceptance. And they take those sensitivities and those values forward in life to whatever profession they may go into. We provide all the services, overnight respite over weekends, an incredible amount of facilities Nobody ever has to bring their child to the center. No one ever has to pick that child up. We bus to, we bus home in order to free up mommy and daddy to live their life. So the impact of our programs is not just impact, it's absolutely changing lives from beginning to end. It's important to note that Shalva does not work in a vacuum. Shalva works hand in hand with government ministries, with the Ministry of Social Welfare, with the Ministry of Education, that everything we do is in line with government policy. Shalva was named by the government as the National Center for Crisis, and what that means for people with disabilities, of course, and what that means is in time of war, which we have now, or in times of crisis, such as fire or other things, people who have to be moved from their facilities with disabilities come to us. On October 8th, 2 years ago, the day after the war broke out, we received phone calls from the Army and from the Ministry of Social Welfare that in this case they had up to 1,000 people who needed our services at Shalva, and we hosted them and provided them with facilities for 7 months at the beginning of the war. And the government realized that this is not enough to ask a center that already has so much on its plate to do this, and they recently gave us a very big piece of land below our center, and we are now proceeding to create a national emergency center of its own, which will also be a huge rehabilitation center, which is so badly needed, and it will also house the visits to Israel by delegations from all over the world for training and enabling them to go back to their countries and improve their services.